Hey guys, okay, so I probably shouldn't be making this in the middle of crying or when I'm generally going to react to what I'm about to talk about irrationally, but I feel like it's the realest moment that I can probably give you while talking about this, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I want to make a little video to people who don't deal with anxiety and depression. I'm not talking about people who feel sad or get nervous. I'm talking about people who literally are diagnosed and deal with this every single fucking day, okay? Let me explain the situation first of all for why I'm crying. And then I'll explain the message that I want to talk about. Okay, so my grandpa passed away last week. And for someone who's doesn't deal with mental illness, that's a sad thing already. You know, that's something that a normal person can get depressed about for a while. But for me, for someone who already has depression and anxiety, I mean, that just makes my everyday battle with it that much worse, right? So, anyways, I missed about a week and a half of school. And I could have read the books I was supposed to while it was gone, but let's be honest, when you're going to see your grandfather in hospice and you're going through a funeral and a wake, you don't read, okay? You don't read because you're too consumed with what's going on, especially when you have depression and anxiety, right? So, anyways, I wrote my teachers, and most of them were understanding except one, which wasn't rude, he wasn't mean, but that doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. Basically told me that if the class was too hard, like I was saying it was, I wasn't saying it was too hard for me, I was just asking if there was even a chance for me to get caught up, if there was a chance that we could work together to figure something out, because I couldn't do it on the schedule that he had planned. And he basically said, sorry if it's too hard. This is supposed to prepare you for the real world. This is supposed to teach you, you know, that there's guidelines and that the real world isn't going to wait for you, and you can just drop the class. Well, I can't drop the class because my scholarship requires me to have 4 classes and be enrolled as a full-time student. This is how I pay for school. Without it, I cannot afford to go to college. So, I'm stuck with the class, which is why I was trying to work with him or figure something out or, you know, have him reassure me that I can get back on the ball and that my very bad grade at the moment isn't going to affect me. But he didn't reassure me. He just reassured me that this is how the real world works. Well, I want to first say that the real world does not work like this. That the people, when I was up in Minnesota going to my grandpa's funeral and stuff, my family members had work, my cousins had school, but the schools understood, and the people at work accommodated with them. There was people who took their days and did their job for them because they understood that they were a person before they were an employee, or they had obligations to their loved ones before they had obligations to their documents or their job or whatnot. So that whole excuse is a bunch of bullshit to me, because the real world, real people are supposed to accommodate with you when you go through a struggle. But this video, I mostly want to talk about how people with depression and anxiety, how do I say this? You will never understand unless you have it. I mean, just a second ago, my mom yelled at me to go clean my room, and I physically felt my body go. I can't move. Depression makes you want to sit in bed all day. It makes you want to give up. It makes you want to not do anything. And that includes the tiny things like brushing your hair or taking a shower and brushing your teeth and getting out of bed, you know? So, every day that a person with depression or anxiety takes medication and gets up and goes to school and goes to work is a day that is a success, doing everyday little tiny living things are successes. So when a person doesn't accommodate or help you when you're going through more than just an everyday life thing, when you're going through something like death or an emergency or a sick family member, it hurts because it's like, I'm here, I'm trying. And I'm not just a normal person trying, I'm a person who has to push past some really hard emotions. I'm a person who has to deal with some really hard internal struggles. I'm not just a person dealing with death, I'm a person with depression and anxiety and mental health issues dealing with death. It's completely different. If I could just drop out of school, if I could just drop out of life, trust me, my mind would be completely okay with that, but I fight that urge every day. I fight the urge to not do anything, to just lie in bed, and I fight the urge to live a life I know at the end of the day I'm going to be proud of. So for people who don't have depression or anxiety or any kind of mental health issue, I want you to understand that if someone who does have that is getting up and even just attempting at life, it is a huge step for them. If they're reaching out and they are asking you for help and they are trying to explain to you the hard time that they're going to, listen, because life is hard for them. Life is hard for me. But the situations that are hard for normal people are twice as hard for me, you know? I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm so tired of the education system. If you watched my last video, you know I want to be a teacher, and this is exactly why, because to that person, I am a name on a roster. I'm a name on a roster. I'm not a human being first. And if they heard me say that, they would disagree, but it's true, because human beings understand other human beings. You know? But I'm just a name. I'm just a student. And it should be so much more than that. I wanted to record this video now because all my other videos, when I talk about depression and anxiety, I feel like I cleaned it up for you guys. I make it crystal and glossy so everyone can understand, but I don't think people really grasp the fact that these are debilitating things. These are, anxiety and depression aren't just like, oh, I have anxiety and depression, like I say in my other videos. They're debilitating. And that if you know a person who's going through them and they're still living their life, they're still going to school and going after their career, and they're still getting up to hang out with their friends, they're trying really hard. And if they're going through something that you would consider hard, death, sickness, anything like that, then just imagine how much harder it is for them dealing with that on top of the struggles they already face. I hope that makes sense. I hope I made sense. I am ranting. I am not in a good mood to be talking, but I didn't want to make it all glossy and sugarcoat it for you later. So, and I'm trying to be really quiet because I don't want my parents to be worried about me being upset. So I hope everyone is doing better than I'm doing right now. And thanks for listening, guys. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.